Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is May the 12th, 2019. Strong hand, offended by selling. Be a unique beast. All right. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. I'm not going anywhere, people. Personal responsibility is a new counterculture. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. This game is not rigged for all you people who keep on coming up with these excuses why you're not getting Bitcoin. It's not rigged. All right. Check out Saturday's show. Check out Friday's show. This Week in Bitcoin with Simon Dixon was awesome. Yesterday's show was awesome. DisruptMeister.com, TechBalt.com. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt, TechBalt. This show, if you're watching it live, questions and answers, I will do them. So if you want to have a question, type it in the chat and type Bitcoin Meister before it hand so I can see it. If you don't type Bitcoin Meister, I can't see your question. I might be speaking in Long Beach soon, like in a few 10 days. I don't know. We're working on something. Who knows? There'll be something in Los Angeles eventually, hopefully. I was thinking about real estate. Real estate is all about location, location, location. Bitcoin's the opposite of that. It doesn't matter where you are with your Bitcoin. Anyone can get Bitcoin. You can improve your wealth. If you invest in Bitcoin, doesn't matter where you are, and you can go anywhere. That's the thing with real estate. Since it's all about location, you get tied down to that location. And that, to me, is, I don't like that. It's not freedom. I don't know. I was thinking about that earlier. And I was also thinking about college. They should have classes where they study and they teach long-term thinking and deferral of gratification. And maybe that's something you should just learn on your own and not even go to college. Because those skills, I mean, if you want to attain wealth in life, that's what you got to master. Deferral gratification and long-term thinking. And that's why Bitcoin is so beautiful, because that is, if you can master that, then you can master Bitcoin. And talking to some people today, Bitcoin and finance, it's so abstract to people. It really is unfortunate. And we've got to take it down many notches, many levels to make it just a real understandable thing for people to get into, because they're just turned off by anything that has to do with money. And they just end up stuck in their life, making all of these horrible financial decisions just to fit in. And then when they hear about something new, they're like, well, is that like the stock market? Can I only buy one of them? And again, I try to bring it down to that level. I really do try to make people as comfortable as possible. But at the same time, I'm always encountering people that have some very basic misunderstandings about money and what Bitcoin is. So do your best, people, to when you're explaining it to someone, just take a lot of time and say, savings, try to talk about what a savings account is. I mean, some people don't get that anymore. And I think a lot of people out there just think all the wealthy people of the world got rich magically, and it's something they can't do. But it's something anyone can do. Bitcoin does not discriminate. Anyone can get into it. And anyone can get into a lot of different things. But people are intimidated by people's degrees and by some of the numbers that are out there. Again, we got to bring finance and money down to a very explainable level. Pound that like button, and I'm trying to do that when I talk to people. And just understand that if you understand Bitcoin and finances, you're so way ahead of the game. You're such great shape. So don't trade it all away and don't gamble it all away. Please be very careful. If you got that understanding, you can be so successful in terms of saving your wealth, because most people don't get it at all. I want to thank WinWoTM for the contribution he sent at the end of a show recently. I forgot to say thanks to the guy because it was right after the show ended. Something that I learned on This Week in Bitcoin with Simon Dixon. He says when the hard wallets start selling out again, like Trezor, Ledger, we're going to be in a boom market. That will be something to look for, because during 2017, late 2017, you couldn't even get a Trezor. They were like back ordered everywhere. Now that is not the case apparently. So look for that as a good sign. And of course, yeah, we're going to talk about what happened, you fiat freaks. I talked about it a little bit on Saturday's show. But before we get into that, something that I didn't get to talk about because it happened on Friday, I believe, is that guy, Representative Sherman from California. Not far. He represents the Valley, which is not far from where I am right now. I'm in Los Angeles right this second, for those of you who don't know. And it's earlier here than back in Baltimore. Pound that like button. You got to like it that it's not 2:04 a.m. here. It's 11:04 p.m. Well, anyway, this Representative Sherman, my God, he laid it all out there. He wants to build a ban cryptocurrencies. And he says it's for tax reasons, to keep so people can't hide their taxes or can't hide how much money they're making. It's just to maintain the control grid that the dollar allows the United States to have in terms of sanctions, in terms of control over its own people. And the funny thing is Sherman is basically saying, with cryptocurrencies, you can opt out of it. So, United States is going to do what it's going to do. You can complain about it, you can make up conspiracies about it, or you can just opt out of it. Because they're not going to make it illegal, okay? This guy has like banks, public servants, they serve all sorts of interests that pay them. And that's the way politics works. He has financial interests who don't like Bitcoin, and they will prosper under the current way. They'll prosper the new way also. They'll prosper under the new way, but it'd be easier if they make Bitcoin illegal for some of these institutions and groups that he represents. So, hey, I considered it a good sign for Bitcoin that this really lowly representative, he gets no real challengers in his district. People blindly vote for him year after year. I would love if there was a real challenger to this guy. I'd have him on the show. But the guy would have to be pro-Bitcoin. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would scare this Sherman. Because this Sherman, he could say whatever the heck he wants because there's no one, there's no flip side of the coin in his district. There's no one that's going to shame him, rightfully embarrass him about him being a shill, a total shill of the mainstream. And there would be great if there'd be a Bitcoin alternative candidate. So yeah, if you're over in the Valley and you want to run against this guy, I'll have you on my show if you're a Bitcoin fan. But guys, don't worry about what the dude said. This is politics, okay? It's dirty and it's mindless and it's virtue signaling, and you do favors for people who give you money. So he cannot. Not one person can't stop Bitcoin. One country can't stop Bitcoin, and it is interesting that he admits why they would not like the Bitcoin, because you can opt out of the dollar system right now with it. So do that. Pound that like button. And on that note, for all the people who just can't figure it out, and if they feel we're going toward a surveillance state, and there's already a surveillance state in China, and people are worried about it. For all you surveillance state freaks, if you think it exists or it's about to exist, then get into Bitcoin. And so we have a guy like Economic Invisibility. He has a video out there. I linked to it below. And I also linked to the tweet about Representative Sherman below. But Economic Invisibility has a video called "What Happens If You Get Deleted?" Basically, what happens if you get kicked off of all your platforms, and what happens if banks won't do business with you, if you're financially deleted. So he gets a step closer, and even in his video, he says, well, you can get into Bitcoin. But then he says, well, how about if the internet is down? he doesn't fully grasp it. He makes up excuses, but he does say that Bitcoin. He also says gold coins might be a solution. Again, your gold coins can get confiscated. Bitcoin is unconfiscatable. So I am very positive about the surveillance state because I've already opted out of it. And so many people are doomers and gloomers that they just throw up their hands in the air and say, we can't opt out of it. Woe is me. They don't come up with solutions at all. They love to yell and complain and complain and complain. And you can read it in the comments section underneath Economic Invincibility's video. They're like, oh, I knew this day was coming. I knew this day where the banks wouldn't want to do business with my kind of people. The elite. I knew the elite had been planning this for so long. Well, great, dude. You knew it for so long. Then why didn't you buy Bitcoin in 2013 like I did? Because you just complain all day. You do nothing. And this is the thing, people. So you can be obsessed about the elite and their master plans, or you can just opt out of it because the elite are nothing but a bunch of sociopathic dorks that get elected to Congress. That guy is a sociopathic dork that got elected. Are you going to fear that guy? Is that why you complain on YouTube videos all day instead of buying Bitcoin? The choice is yours. Be in motion or let sociopathic dorks scare you. All right. And just in the comments section, these big tough, you big tough guys in the comments section underneath these videos of Economic Invincibility and all these people, you're so smart. You knew about the elite and you do nothing. You're tough. You're so tough. You're scared of you bow down to that guy, Brad in Congress, who is a dork. I mean, it's unbelievable. You guys talk such a big game and you do nothing because you just live in the doom world. You get off on doom, and maybe it's just an excuse to come up with these big, scary characters who aren't scary at all. And you could do a real simple thing: buy Bitcoin, but you don't do it. I don't know what to say. Be in motion. Be in motion. I love the people who watch these videos who are in motion. Okay, so on this same note, there's a guy named Gladstein who just made a presentation. Michael Gladstein is his name, at the conference in New York that took place this weekend, whatever it's called, MCC, Magical Crypto Conference, whatever they call it. He said, and it was a presentation on using Bitcoin as a way of curtailing the manifestation of the surveillance state. It's difficult to make Big Brother work without payment surveillance. Your spend says more about you than your words. Okay, and so it's a good presentation. He shows what's going on in China right now, and he says how with Bitcoin you can get out of this situation. And he also says you don't have to go to Harvard to play a role in the financial revolution. And this is so true. And I was saying this at the beginning. For all the people who think that this is so complex, it's not that complex. You don't have to have a Harvard degree or a Stanford degree. You just buy and hold. And you get a lesson in long-term thinking and deferral of gratification. That's what you have to know about in this game. So anyway, going back to Gladstein's presentation, I've said this before, when the Fed coin comes, so many people, it'll be a convenience thing, and they'll want to fit in, and Bitcoin provides the people who want to get out a way to get out. And there will be people who want to get out. And it might not be that bad in the United States, but China is exporting its surveillance technology to so many different countries. So it might be real bad in certain countries, including China. And Bitcoin will be a way to not be surveilled. And if you have it, you'll be able to buy your way out of the country, perhaps too, if it gets bad. So watch that video. It's an interesting one, and maybe some of you doomers will be won't be so doom and gloom anymore. Because there are scary predictions for the world, but there's so much positive going on in Bitcoin, and it gets you out of that scary type of stuff. It really does. It gets you out of that mindset, at least. So speaking of New York conferences, there's a big one coming up this week, and I look forward to hearing if that Andrew Yang candidate really if he talks a real good game about Bitcoin, maybe that'll help his candidacy, or maybe it'll help Bitcoin. That's what I want. But so I welcome Consensus 2019. It'll be ICO people. It'll be ridiculous stuff. But some are saying that people got excited about it, and that's why the fiat price pumped. I don't know. That's an interesting theory. I welcome the consensus. If people want to pay thousands of dollars to go to that event and listen to ICO people, it gets Bitcoin in the news, and regular people will find out about it. And maybe some people will eventually get their hands on some Bitcoin before it, and know, some will learn the hard way that they shouldn't have got into these ICOs and EIOs and fifth tier altcoins and whatnot. But yeah, I'm not gonna curse Consensus 2019 or anything like that. Now today the price of Bitcoin, well, it fell like $500. Oh my God, no, you see, it's not. Oh my God. So yesterday, again, I was in the airport for a lot of yesterday, and it was like when I was in the airport coming back from Korea in December of 2017. I mean, every time I looked at the computer, the price of Bitcoin was going up. It wasn't to the same extreme as when it was going from 12,000 to 13,000 to 14,000, but it was a fun reminder. And I mentioned this on yesterday's show. I want to mention it again, just for those of you who didn't watch yesterday's show, because it was the Beyond Bitcoin show. But compare today's correction to the way you felt when Bitcoin dropped down to $3,100 in December. So I mean, it's we're coming out of, for you fiat freaks, it does appear that we're not going to go back down to 3,100. You shouldn't be a fiat freak anyway. You should be valuing your wealth in Bitcoin and getting more Bitcoin. And when everyone was down and gloomy and weren't even doing shows and tweets anymore, I was saying, get it, be a long-term thinker. That parabolic Trav guy, I mean, I love that he pumps Bitcoin and everything. That is awesome. But I mean, it's actually embarrassing. If you look at his Twitter feed, it is completely dark during the down market, and then he returns when the price comes up. I mean, that's his prerogative and everything. But yeah, it's another reason you can't get too excited. Sometimes people just keep a level head about everything, and then you'll stick around. You'll stick around. You won't disappear. And again, he probably just disappeared from social media. That's his business. But some people disappeared from Bitcoin completely. They sold all their Bitcoin, and then now they can't get back in, but they thought it was going to $1,000 because of all of these bears out there. Now, do bears and TA people, do they just value their wealth in fiat totally? I mean, it seems like it. It seems that's their way. If they valued their wealth in Bitcoin, they wouldn't ever be bears. They'd always be bullish and happy and would be willing to stick around and say, yeah, I want to get more Bitcoin. The price is down. Great. It's a time to get more Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin because it's the future. I've lived through these cycles. It goes down in terms of fiat. It wildly fluctuates in terms of fiat. But in the long run, every 210,000 blocks, it's worth more in terms of fiat than it was previously, 210,000 blocks beforehand. And I mean, it's like every single one of these people that tries to come up with their own little charts and theories and analyzing every minute, they don't know what the halving is. There is no halving in any other financial instrument out there, okay? Excluding other cryptocurrencies, okay? So all these people that talk about all their experiences in the financial markets for years and years and years and basing their prediction models on the stock market and on gold and on bonds, do they have halvings there? Do they? Are those deflationary assets? Are they? Okay, it's like you people who get these hits, who get like this adrenaline rush out of watching people predict Bitcoin go to 1,000, or watching some hot girl predict the Bitcoin go to 2,000, or whatever it is that you get off on. It's like you're wasting. It's a soap opera to you, and you're a soap opera fan, and you're wasting your time. It's crypto noise. Just learn about what the freaking Bitcoin halving is and what deflation and what inflation is. Okay, I mean, geez. And then it's some of this stuff is pathetic, and I don't like it. It's appropriate in a way that some of these people are getting burnt big time because they valued their wealth in fiat and now they're stuck in it because they can't get it back for what they thought was going to be $1,200 or whatever their magical little chart thought it was going to be, whatever the weather girl predicted. I don't know. So anyone, and another thing, you've got all these people predicting $100,000 for Bitcoin because of their magical chart, and whatever, 55,000. Soon, Web Snot will be back making his predictions that Martians are going to land in Israel, and that Bitcoin is going to be 7777 because his magical computer said so. Guys, it's I know it's fun. It's fun to you got to come up with your own strategies here, or you're going to get wrecked because you're going to panic one day. Because they're predicting 88,000, 8 million or whatever. Come up, think, say, you know what? I'm getting this much Bitcoin because I know it's the future. It's a financial revolution. I didn't have to go to Harvard to participate in this financial revolution. I don't have to have a magical crypto computer. I don't have to have a magical chart to do it. I can get into this. I want to get this many by this halving. And then after this halving, I will buy a new house with this Bitcoin, or I will do this with this Bitcoin. Come up with a real strategy and a plan here so that you won't go off the course and be distracted by all the crypto noise out there, because there is a darn lot of it out there, a darn lot of it. And some of them are looking like complete doofuses right now, as well they should be, because this has been, I find it, I don't think it's helped. I don't understand why people can get so happy about predicting it's going to go down to 1,200 and you're scaring people. These scaremongers. I don't get it, because if you truly value your wealth in Bitcoin, the future is so darn bright. I mean, you watch that guy's video. It's going to get people out of these surveillance systems. It's awesome. It's not about your experience in what the stock market did in 1987, basing your formula off of that. I mean, all right, Vention sent $2. Love Doom. I can't say that other word because YouTube will demonetize this. More Doom, Adam. More Doom. No, there'll never be more Doom, Vention. And you're a very positive man. I'm going to talk about your latest video at the end of here. I'm surprised no one has questions here in the chat. There's a lot of people. Remember, if you do have a question, you got to type Bitcoin Meister first or do the super chat, or I won't see it. What is this? Jeet. So Jeet said, imagine spending all your time looking at charts, drawing lines, running regressions, waiting for $1,000, trying to time the market, and then getting your face ripped off by a bull run to 20,000. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying it's running to 20,000, but yeah, imagine that. Imagine someone getting their face ripped off, waiting for $1,000 to happen. Well, isn't it? You don't have to imagine anymore. You can see. I mean, apparently that. Anyway, okay. Another thing I want to say is that so many people are stuck in these old-fashioned financial paradigms, including, I have to buy a house, I have to be in debt, mortgage debt. But all of the answers are out there, but they're just stuck in. They're stuck in that realm, in the 80% of realm, where you have to get a house, where you have to buy a car, where you have to go into debt. I mean, the answers are so simple. I've covered them all in this video. Bitcoin. All right. So I noticed Bitcoin dominance was increasing, and I hadn't noticed that for a while. And so some people are saying, well, it's all going to flow back into altcoins again. And you know what? Probably some will flow back into altcoins. You don't know which ones, though. You do not know. Now, probably most likely Ethereum will pump eventually. But I got to say, this last few days, everything's price was going up, and then everything's price wasn't going up. But in terms of Bitcoin, their prices were not going up at all. I mean, BSV is an example. BSV, its price went up, but I mean, it went from being worth 1% of a Bitcoin to less than 0.9% of a Bitcoin. And speaking of, the great BSV, I mean, the great BSV, because what happened? What happened, dudes? Why is everybody's memory so short in this space? BSV said they were going to destroy Bcash. What happened? Why does everyone forget that? Why does anyone believe a word out of the people's mouths that were claiming this great war that was about to happen. Where's your war, dude? Where you're worth 0.8% of a Bitcoin, okay? Bcash seems to be doing a lot better than you. I mean, what you mean? How can anyone even want to have anything to do with those dudes? I have no idea. And I feel bad. There are a few good people there who I don't know what they're thinking. What happened to your war? What happened to destroying Bcash? Where's the destruction? And the only thing that seems like is being destroyed is BSV and 0.8 Bitcoin. Yeah, that's excuse me, 0.8% of a Bitcoin. 0.8% of a Bitcoin. It went from 1% of it. It was 2% of a Bitcoin. Then it was 0.8% of a Bitcoin. I don't know, dudes. All right, so here's some questions. What do you think about Tone Vays and Tyler Jenks predictions of Bitcoin going to 1K? Are you still friends with them? I never, ever was friends with Tyler Jenks. I am friends with Tone Vays though. Everything that I said before, I mean, I guess you didn't exactly read between the lines who I was talking about before. I wasn't talking about Tone Vays. I was talking about a weather girl and some freak guy from the old school or something. You know, I don't know enough about those people because I stopped watching Tone when he had the woman on because it was a ridiculous gimmick. And then, so I guess both of them thought they were going to get a piece of her. I guess that's why this Tyler guy's her friend, and she brought this freak along for the ride. I mean, again, I don't know the whole story, and I like Tone. I do like Tone. I mean, I don't agree with him bringing on someone like that to his show and valuing his wealth in women but the guy Tyler, I actually have never heard his voice before, so I just know that he has bets. He had a bet, and he got destroyed, and I just don't understand. And people would tell me this guy's predicting $1,000. I'm like, who the heck is this guy? And why is Tone letting him on the show? I assume it's because he wants to get they both want to get the girl probably, and whatever. The girl brought this guy along. It's a shame. It's a shame that he let this girl onto the show, and she brings a piece of trash like that onto the show too. And all these people lost a lot of money listening to this old dude. And it's nothing wrong with being old or anything like that. I shouldn't have said that. But I don't exactly know what that dude is all about. But he has some magical formula or something. And clearly, he's a no-coiner. He doesn't hold any Bitcoin now, right? I mean, what's up with people that don't have Bitcoin telling me what people should do with their Bitcoin? Telling me what I should do with my Bitcoin. It's ridiculous. So again, I might be a little ignorant on the dude. So I'm sorry if I mischaracterized anything about the guy, because I've never actually heard him, because I stopped watching Tone's show when he had the girl on, because I thought it was ridiculous to put the girl on. I thought it was just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. And I hear she might be a smart person too, but that's not why she was put on the show. I mean, come on. I mean, she might be smart in a lot of different things, but and then all of a sudden she should be telling people about Bitcoin. I mean, this is the way the world works. Yeah, that's the way the 80% world works. You get unqualified. People might be qualified in certain fields to talk about certain things. Then you just let them. Do you let the greatest quantum mechanics person come on your plumbing show to talk about plumbing because they're great with quantum mechanics to deal with the toilet plumbing? No, you don't. You get a plumber or someone with years of plumbing experience. Now, if the quantum mechanics person happens to be a hot woman, then you know why they let the quantum mechanics woman on the toilet show. All right. So another question, Fair Equal said, do you think Bitcoin will add, but I do like Tone. Tone's a good guy. Do you think Bitcoin will ever hard fork to add privacy like Monero? No. There's only a few things that hard forks would upgrade BTC, but no, I don't think that. I mean, the question that people have asked me lately is, do you think they'll incorporate Mimblewimble into it? And so that no, I don't think it. No, they won't. They won't do it. They build something on top of it. Something will be built on top of it. They wouldn't need a hard fork to add the privacy. I don't see that happening. I don't think people would. I think that could cause some. If it was hard fork, it wouldn't be the best move, because I think a lot of people would get freaked out by it. A lot of mainstream, and it could break. There's ways to make it anonymous by building stuff on top of it. Okay, a hard fork is like the last ditch option there. So I don't think it will hard fork to add privacy like Monero or like Mimblewimble. And so I think it's interesting. You bring up Mimblewimble. We're going to get, if you hold Bitcoin and you're not some freakish trader that thinks Bitcoin's going to go to $1,000 because of something that happened in 1987. If you hold your Bitcoin on your Trezor and you can sign, you know how to sign, you will get this airdrop, this crypto dividend Mimblewimble coin, and we'll see how good this Mimblewimble technology is. We'll be able to experiment it because we're going to get on it. We're going to get it for free. And I should be reminding people about that because I'm all about getting things for free and turning them into Bitcoin. And so that Mimblewimble MWC.MW is coming soon. You can already register for the airdrop there. And July 19th is the snapshot date. So here's another question. Fair equal, aka Mimblewimble on BAA. Okay, so I did answer that. Bug Live says, when do you think Lightning Network will go live or be done? No longer in beta phase. I don't know. Soon. Don't rush it though. Don't rush it. I mean, they seem to be making progress. They're building things on top of it. I wouldn't rush it. I wouldn't worry about it. So I said soon. Soon's a relative term. It's more so don't worry about it. Chris K says, do you know if Andy Hoffman bought his Bitcoin back now that no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. And I like Andy a lot. I don't think he I think he should have bought his Bitcoin back. I really do. I think he didn't. He didn't. We are past the Hoffman line now, and I don't know. That's definitely not what I mean. Obviously, that's definitely not what I did. You all know what I mean. He's in a different financial situation, but he could buy some of it back. No, I don't think he bought any Bitcoin back at all. So and you ask him, but I don't. So I obviously never would have sold my Bitcoin when it went below $5,700. I mean, there's so many tax implications. It's insane. But it took 6 months, and it's as if it never happened. So why even sell it in the first place? Unless you were trying to, why sell it unless you were trying to buy it back for cheap and get more of it? So no, he does not value his wealth in Bitcoin. He does not value his wealth. But I let him on. He's on the show and stuff. He's doing them. He's promoting he's gone in a completely different direction than he was going beforehand. No doubt about it. He doesn't hide it or anything like that. Okay, when do you think? Okay, yeah. So I said, when did I think Lightning? I hope I didn't skip anybody's question here. All right. Yeah, Hoffman is stacking his B rhodiums. Apparently, that is what he is doing, and that is no, it's not what I do. I value my wealth in Bitcoin. I value my wealth in Bitcoin. I mean, he might be one of the only dudes out there that values his wealth in altcoins. I know he really doesn't, because he says the dollar is king. He values his wealth in fiat. He values his wealth in fiat. He doesn't value his wealth in altcoins. He uses altcoins to get more fiat at this point. At least. Bitcoin Meister. The big line is own one BTC. What queso? I didn't exactly break that again. What do you think about Charles Hoskinson's and the IOHK stuff? You know what? I stick away from that drama. There's always been drama around that stuff. Let him develop whatever he wants to develop and have his own clique and everything over there. That's fine. There have been people that really disliked IOHK that wanted. I'm not even gonna get it. So I have nothing to do with that stuff. People, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. This is where the big boys play. Let people create whatever they want to in the crypto space. All right. I do think that. Did I say before that I think Ethereum will? I think Ethereum will pump again. I think that's one altcoin that is going to pump again. But hey, dude, I don't buy it. I'm just making a prediction. I just get more Bitcoin. But why did I say this about the Ethereum? Oh, because we're talking about the Bitcoin dominance increasing, and there's people always take their Bitcoin profits and throw it back into altcoins. They shouldn't, but they do. One day that cycle will end, though, but not anytime soon. Not soon. And we mentioned the $6,200 $6,200 mark, and how that was double $3,100. And people were saying, well, if $31 was the low for this cycle, then if it gets to 6,200, then it's not going to go back to 3,100. And I said that when it gets to 6,200, it might really surge. And it did. I mean, it got up to 7,500 yesterday. Not that that matters. What matters more is that the sentiment. Now, I think a lot of people, they saw that this 6,200 thing happened. They saw a surge. They got to feel that hit again. They got to see for themselves, you know what? These people talking about 1,100 and hot women and whatever they're talking about is ridiculous. And that, you know what? Let's not stay in this negative trend and make bets about what's going to be, if it's going to be 1,000, this silliness. That I think this weekend was a good cure-all for some people who are doomers and stuck in this negativity of just valuing their wealth in fiat, and being proud of themselves if Bitcoin were to go to $1,000. Would you vote for Andrew Yang for president if he continues to preach the Bitcoin adoption? That is a great question, because as a few of you might know, I registered as a Democrat as a very young person. When I registered, when I was 20, I registered when I was 20, just because. But I'm not a Democrat in my practices. So to this very day, I vote in the Democratic primary. So I'm going to have to, if I'm around, if I'm in Baltimore at that time, at this point, I would vote for him right now. It's just a strategic move, just in hopes of rocking the establishment, and maybe there'll be some Bitcoin. He's clearly the smartest one of the Democrats, and he doesn't pander that much as the other ones do. But so yeah, I get it, but it won't make a difference. My vote doesn't make a difference, but yeah. That's what, at this point, that's who I would vote for in the Democratic primary. And I am, a little known fact, Adam, I'm a registered Democrat of all, but I don't believe in any of that nonsense anymore. And nor did I really believe in it when I was 20 years old. Who knows? I didn't believe in it. When you're 20 years old, you're valuing your wealth in women, and you just you register as a Democrat because everybody else around you is a Democrat. A completely horrible reasoning. And I was going to Washington University in St. Louis, and that was my logic. So you can imagine that these kids going to these good schools, they don't think, they don't care, they just do what the other people are doing. And it would be great if kids could get out of this college paradigm and really start thinking for themselves earlier. Because I wasn't that much of a free thinker if I was just doing things like that. I mean, how much beer can you drink? How much I look back on my college days and going to WashU and everything. There was so much opportunity there, so much studying I could have done, and I was just taking my business classes and just trying to memorize everything. I wasn't trying to really learn. I was just trying to have a fun time. So yeah, higher education is definitely, at least it was a little bit cheaper back then, and I paid off all those loans that I had. All right, so Fair Equal says, Bitcoin Meister, have you heard about the HTC full node phones? Yes, I have. What are some interesting dApps that could utilize such technology? I have no idea, but it is interesting. I'm not into dApps, but I will tell you this, that if you can run a full node on the phone now, or if you will be, that there's like less of an excuse for people like me to say, I can't run a full node, but I don't own a phone though, so. Bitcoin doesn't care if you're a socialist. That is true. There's a site that I linked to below, the tie.io. It is like a competitor with CoinMarketCap. And so check that out. They have a daily sentiment column. I thought that was interesting. All right. I said I was going to talk about Gab. I'll just save that for next time. Okay. I mentioned that. Let's erase that. No, I'll save that next time. I'll save that for next time. Okay, I talked about that. All right, here's some. Well, no, I'll save that for next time too. Oh God, this show went too long. Someone said, "Have you heard about the possibility of eBay accepting Bitcoin as payment?" No, but eventually everyone will accept it as payment. I don't know why you'd want to buy anything on Bitcoin with your. Why would you give up your precious Bitcoin for something on eBay, for some used things for eBay? Oh, here, someone had a question last time. What is your strategy for the next bull run? Would you do differently? What would you do differently from the last one? Dude, I would do absolutely nothing different. My strategy is the same. It never changes. Buy and hold, strong hand. That person might not be familiar with this channel. I haven't changed anything. I get Bitcoin. I never sell it. That's my strategy. And turn those crypto dividends into Bitcoin. And oh yeah. So wait, more questions are coming in. So I asked them, when are you coming down to Florida again? Don't know when that's going to happen. It depends on if there's events and stuff. And then someone says there's a crypto cafe in West Palm Beach. Really? That is interesting. I was up there. I was up in that area. I would never guess that a crypto cafe would be in. God, the little towns along there, they all kind of look the same and have these huge, wide roads, and people live in gated communities, and it gets really hot during the summer, and a lot of old people live down there. They go down there to die, and then there's young people. I mean, I knew young people down there, and I love those people. They're nice people. I don't know. It's not it definitely isn't my style down there at all. You need a car down there. You got to drive around down there. I mentioned it yesterday's show. I was talking about staying healthy by walking around, and I'm so glad I don't have to drive. In Baltimore, I had to drive every day to synagogue, and now in LA, I just walk around the corner to synagogue, which is great. I don't drive at all, and that's another reason why. Well, it's going to be hard to coordinate this possible Long Beach event that is coming up, maybe. So finally, we're going to conclude with Vention. And so I linked to a video before from Vention, and I linked to it below. And he talks about how and you guys know he's a huge Bitcoin fan. He's been talking about Bitcoin for a long time. He's a man going his own way. And he recently found out that he's got cancer, and he's taken some non-traditional approaches at first. He's not going to get poisoned with the radiation and the chemo. He's putting that off for a little bit. And so you can watch this video. But one thing that I want to bring up in terms of Bitcoin, because he has a lot of Bitcoin, he has a good amount of Bitcoin. He doesn't have to worry about like, well, is my insurance going to pay for this? Is my insurance going to pay for that? Am I going to, or what can I do? Or my government doctor says I have to do this. He's got all the options in the world. Bitcoin, I mean, so for a guy like, I say don't sell your Bitcoin until after the year 2020. Now, for Vention is in a life and death situation here. So if he needed to get into his Bitcoin stash, I would say, dude, go ahead and do it. Pay whatever you have to. When you're in a life and death situation, you're going to spend as much to be comfortable as possible to get through the situation. So this is a benefit of Bitcoin for all you people out there. He is in a situation now where he can do what he wants to do. He controls his health, his destiny totally. If some doctor that he gets assigned by his insurance company says something that he is totally against, he can just say, I'm out of here, doctor. I can pay for my own doctor with my own Bitcoin, with my own money, with whatever. And again, he has saved money. He probably doesn't have to get into his Bitcoin stash because he puts a lot of money away. But again, I have talked about how Bitcoin is insurance, how it is an insurance policy. And he's living that right now. He is a prime example of like that. So if he starts to really, he can't pay with money anymore, if he blows his whole wad of savings on ridiculous doctors and chooses to go in a different direction, he can get into his Bitcoin stash and start paying for it. In terms of finances, he doesn't have to worry about it at all. And that is great. When you have cancer, when you're in a situation where if you don't take care of it, you will die. It's good. You don't have to worry about finances. And that's part of the Bitcoin world and being a saver and being a long-term thinker. So that's how I'm tying in Vention's situation to Bitcoin today. And he says, thanks, brother. Yeah, I'm pretty set on not getting chemo. Well, we show follow Vencion, everyone. I linked to his video below. If you're he is documenting his whole health ordeal right now. All right, dudes. That was a long show. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Thank you for your questions. I really enjoyed them. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, pound that like button, bang that bell button, click on those squares. And what does the shirt say? Buy and hold. Yeah, that's my strategy. It hasn't changed. I'll see you dudes in the chat right now. Bye-bye.